Hi everybody, it's me, Ricky Manarino. How are you today? Alright my friends, let's talk. People often wonder, what do the mega rich think about what's going on here right now? What do major investors really feel is going on? Well, here's a little inside information for you. Wall Street icon and multi-billionaire investor Jim Rogers came out today on CNBC, and I'm going to quote him here. Investors should run to the hills. That's what he said. He said, I'm doing that. I'm going to place a link in the description of this video to that interview so you can check it out. It's very interesting. It's very telling. Let me say this. The situation here is not improving. It continues to deteriorate rapidly. Now, there's a lot of people out there who are trying to downplay this thing with Cyprus. The mainstream media doesn't know really what to do. It seems that a lot of people who have been commenting here on this blog, they're blowing it off, and they just don't get it. I really believe if they were a citizen of Cyprus, having capital controls placed on them, having limits as to how much cash they can carry around or carry out of the country, they would maybe be singing a different tune. And it's just kind of funny to look at their comments, but that's okay. So the situation is this, and I'm going to ask all of you out here a question. So we understand, yes, the situation in Cyprus, the banks did open. Apparently there were long lines for people waiting to get in. Here's the question. So once these capital controls are lifted, whenever that is, a week from today, a month from today, don't you think people are going to clean these banks out? Because I can promise you, if I were living over there and I had no access to my cash, if I was understanding the mechanism behind all this, the second they lifted the controls, boom, out would come my cash. I'm pretty certain that is what's going to happen here. So honestly, we haven't even scratched the surface as to where this is going. This is going to cause major problems for the banking system as a whole. And it's going to affect the rest of Europe, and it's coming here to the United States to roost as well. Let me just say a few other things here. With regard to the markets, they're probably going to continue to rise here in the United States for several reasons. One, and this goes back to something that I spoke about a couple of weeks ago, there was a 3-day interval where, from out of nowhere, when the market really seemed to be ready to roll over, we saw massive buying by the institutions. Again, some people call this the plunge protection team. I'm not sure really what that is, but it may be some type of a mechanism where they're not allowing the market to fall. Now, that's one aspect. The second aspect of it is this. We now understand that just yesterday, in one day, we saw the yield on the 10-year drop 6 basis points. That's incredible. That's incredible. What does that tell us? That tells us that people are getting afraid. Big-time investors are seeking some type of protection by buying these bonds. Again, they realize that these bonds are paying interest less than the actual rate of inflation, so they're willing to take a loss. That's how afraid they are. But again, this fear is more than likely going to drive the market higher. And on my website, my free traders website, traderschoice.net, I've rearranged the entire portfolio, and all of the equities and ETFs are performing fabulously at this time. And we just really need to understand where this game is going and what they're not going to let happen. That means the markets plunge. But forget about looking at the stock markets, people. We need to be watching the bond market. That's where the real action is. And again, we're seeing this fear play right now. What is that doing? It's fueling the bubble in debt even greater. People, it really comes down to this.